region. Here's the very latest. It is not slowing down. In fact, in many Bay Area counties, the fires are accelerating. This is a live look now from our NBC Bay Area Sky Ranger in Marin County. This is one of the smaller fires, relatively speaking, but still concerning. It is threatening more than 1,600 homes near Point Reyes. Now, reinforcements are in the North Bay tonight. That is some good news. Take a look. This is the largest firefighting plane in the world. This super tanker, a retired Boeing 747, is now dropping fire retardant on the flames, helping crews just to get a better handle on the ground level. Let's take a look now where the fires are burning, really similar to what we've been seeing the last 3 or 4 days. In all, more than 300,000 acres scorched across the Bay Area. You can see it at almost every corner. North Bay, East Bay, South Bay, along the peninsula there in San Mateo County and down in Santa Cruz. This is equivalent, the amount of acres burned is the equivalent to twice the size of San Jose and Oakland combined.
It really is stunning. Let's give you the latest on each fire. This one is burning in the east foothills of San Jose. It encompasses parts of Alameda and Contra Costa County. The plume of smoke over Livermore. So far, more than 137,000 acres have burned, and containment is only at 5%. At least 2 first responders have been hurt. Let's take you to the North Bay. The collection of fires there have burned 131,000 acres. And there's no containment so far. 70 homes have been damaged, another 105 destroyed. In San Mateo and Santa Cruz counties, the flames there have burned 40,000 acres. No containment yet. 3 people hurt and at least 20 homes destroyed.
And that really sticks out, Jessica. 0% containment, or maybe just 5% containment. Air quality, of course, has been a huge concern. Here's the good news. Much better along the peninsula today and the South Bay. However, the East Bay and the North Bay still smoky and unhealthy. It's all about wind direction. We're going to chat with Rob Maeda in just a minute.
We have a team of reporters ready to bring you the very latest on this fires. We're going to begin with NBC Bay Area's Damien Trujillo, who joins us live in Santa Clara County. Damien, you yourself were evacuated yesterday. What is the situation today?
Well, it keeps changing, it seems, and the alerts are simply not coming through here. Right now, we're near the Grandview restaurant on Mount Hamilton Road. You can see a couple of large plumes behind me. They appear to be above Grant Ranch down here in the eastern part of the Santa Clara Valley, a couple of ridges away from Grant Ranch. Now, the evacuation orders and warnings are changing day to day, but I'm having to find out from my neighbor, not directly from the authorities, and so are other people. The Alexander family returned to pick up some things after they were ordered to evacuate. But Tony had to hear it from his wife at 2 o'clock on Wednesday that they had to go. No alerts.
I did not get it. I got the 6 o'clock one, but she got the 2 o'clock, the 6 o'clock, and I think there was one other one right after that one too.
The Cal Fire Twitter page has constant updates, but you need to check it almost non-stop to get the latest evacuation information, and that is frustrating many neighbors.
In fact, the whole family was out at about 10 o'clock looking at the red glow, and we go, this might be a little bit serious.
Santa Clara County says the text alerts come from the State Office of Emergency Services, which gets the info from Cal Fire. But it's still not clear why some people are getting the text alerts but not others who signed up for them. Meanwhile, signs of flames today that went up Mount Hamilton late Wednesday. This is where crews put up a firefight to save Lick Observatory.
We ended up not losing any part of the observatory due to the quick work and the efficient work of the fire crews that were up here yesterday.
And it's still unclear who is responsible for those text message alerts. The county is pointing at the state. That state says it's a county issue. When I got my alert yesterday, it came via the county site, the same site where they send me those COVID-19 alerts. So a lot of confusion here. I'd get an alert at 1:30 today that my home is now not under an evacuation order. But again, I got that from my neighbor who saw it on the Cal Fire Twitter account. I did not get it from the proper authorities. We're live outside San Jose. I'm Damian Trujillo, NBC Bay Area News.
Well, Damien, like you, we'll be following up and asking a lot of questions as to why there are delays in getting those alerts. Thank you. We'll get back to you later this afternoon. Now, the numbers are coming in. More than 100 homes destroyed in the North Bay. This is the series of fires in Sonoma, Napa, and Solano counties. And with resources stretched so thin, many people are saying it's really just up to them to keep their own properties safe. Let's bring in NBC Bay Area's Jody Hernandez in Vacaville. Jody, you live in that Vacaville-Fairfield area. What happened? Did you end up evacuating last night? And what about school for your kids?
Okay, so we actually ended up staying at home. We were in an evacuation warning, but luckily the fire has moved away from the city of Fairfield. So we were nervous all night, but things were looking much better this morning. The kids did get the notification that school has been canceled for the entire week. So yesterday was the first day of distance learning, and they get today and tomorrow off because there are just so many teachers and students and families dealing with scenes like this. Now, I'm standing in Vacaville at what used to be the house of the former Solano County Administrator. Take a look at this. This used to be his garage, his swimming pool, his house back there. This right here was a brand new $200,000 boat parked in front of his garage. All of it went up in flames. Now, he was here to watch it all, and he and other neighbors out here say they have had to jump into action themselves. The fire swept through his property early yesterday morning, but Dilso Baltazar is still racing to put out hot spots.
I need to put out that fire. I need to take care of the property. I need to put out the hot spots. It's in my property.
Baltazar had to sneak in past the roadblocks to get to his place today. Without any firefighters in sight, he says he must take matters into his own hands. He's using a generator and fire hoses to pump water from his swimming pool onto the flames.
Let the homeowner take care of their own property, if you guys cannot.
While he lost a barn, a few cars, and his wine cellar, his house is still standing, and he wants to keep it that way. He says it wasn't firefighters who saved his house, but his neighbor, Mike Johnson.
So I got a 5-gallon bucket and went to his pool and started throwing water on it.
Johnson's own house and brand new boat were fully engulfed. Realizing he couldn't do anything to save his place, he pitched in to help his neighbor.
But something fairly good happened as compared to losing everything everywhere.
We're back here live. You're looking at Mike Johnson's place. He is the former administrator of Solano County. He has had this place for 28 years and really poured his heart and soul into it. He said he had an antique collection that he has been collecting for about 50 years, sculptures and valuable items, and all of it is just melted and gone. He hasn't been able to salvage anything. But, you know, the great thing in all of this is, well, there haven't been a lot of firefighters. I mean, firefighters cannot get to every home. Just the acts of kindness between neighbors. I mean, here is somebody who had his own house in flames, couldn't do anything to save it, but risked his own life to go across the way. I'm going to just show you just how close, and save the neighbor's home right there. It is still standing. It was on fire. He got a bucket and just started pouring water from the swimming pool onto his neighbor's house and managed to save it. It is still standing there. So that neighbor right there is a general contractor, and there's some really nice moments between the two of them today as the neighbor, the general contractor, pledged to help Mike Johnson rebuild. So these folks are understanding, knowing that the firefighters are being stretched very thin, but they say that it's really important that they have the opportunity to do what they can to protect their property.
Gosh, what an...
Live in Solano County, I'm Jody Hernandez. Back to you guys.
So unselfish. What an act of generosity and compassion and kindness. It's just, we see this every time, Jody, when we have these fires. It really is horrific, but it brings out the best in people. It's really stunning. Thank you.
Thank you, Jody. And, you know, as we continue in these, last 6, 7, 8 years, that's really going to be the way we have to do this, is everyone helping each other because CAL FIRE is stretched so thin. Rob Maeda is with us now. You did talk about yesterday, Rob, that wind might come in, and that's the good news. I saw blue skies on the peninsula today for the first time all week.
Yeah, the wind down closer to the bay and sea level did make a noticeable impact on air quality, but the problem is the wind on the higher hills where the temperatures are still plenty warm. We're seeing signs of some very intense fire. So what we're looking for when we look to see how a wildfire is behaving is it generating column plumes that are towering high into the sky? Unfortunately, the SCU complex there east of downtown San Jose is doing just that. What that means is there's a lot of hot air that is rising upwards and sometimes condenses out to form that pyrocumulus top. And we're reusing Storm Ranger now, switching over to an ash detection mode. And the larger the ash you see falling from these wildfires is usually an indication of how much heat is being generated at the center. And look at the SCU complex. This is the most active fire we're seeing right now. Winds out of the northwest pushing that fire to the south and east. Temperatures in the upper 80s. Santa Cruz Mountains, it's cooled off, 83 degrees, but the winds still 10 to 20, pushing that fire down to the south. And now winds out of the southwest up in the North Bay, making the fires there in the LNU complex move to the northeast this afternoon. So it's been a bit challenging for fire crews. Yes, temperatures have cooled off considerably inland, but to keep in mind, up on those higher hills, we're still a little bit warmer. We'll talk about what you can expect as we go through the next few days coming up in a few minutes.
Yeah, we don't need any warmer, that's for sure. Okay, thank you, Rob. Thousands of people have been told to leave their homes all around the Bay Area. It is frustrating, it is scary, especially right now when we're also in the midst of a pandemic. Let's turn to Chris Kimura, who's been mapping these evacuations. We're talking about 26 major fires throughout the state.
And the evacuation areas are simply gargantuan. Let me give you the bearings here on this map. Calistoga here, Napa here, Fairfield here. This entire area in blue is under a mandatory evacuation order. The evacuation warning is just this little bit down here in yellow. This is the LNU. Let's go to the CZU real quick. Bearings here, you've got San Francisco Bay. Here's the Pacific. You can see down here, this is the huge amount of Santa Cruz and San Mateo County that's under this order. The red is the mandatory order. The yellow is the warning. Let's go back to down the South Bay. This is a preliminary map from the city of San Jose, and you can see this area to the east of San Jose. I've got a tool up right now that'll let us measure from top to bottom. So we start down up there, go down to here. It's telling us that's a 54-mile stretch under evacuation orders. The red here under an evacuation order, the yellow under an evacuation warning. Let's take a minute here to clear up some confusion we saw on social media earlier here today about wildfire evacuation levels. There are major differences between an evacuation warning and an evacuation order. This is information from Cal OES. That's important for your family to make the right decision. If you're under a warning, they say there is a potential threat to life and property, and those who require additional time to evacuate, as well as those with pets and livestock, should leave now. So under an evacuation warning, if you're in this category, it's time to go. Now, if there's an evacuation order for your neighborhood, that's when Cal OES says there is an immediate threat to life. It is a lawful order for you to leave now. Not later, leave now. So if you hear evacuation warning and you're not in this category, it's time to pay attention. But when you hear evacuation order, it is simply time to go. If you want a closer look at all of the information about evacuations, we have it in real time on our website, nbcbayarea.com/evacuations. Jessica, you have more information about taking a closer look at getting real-time updates, right?
Yeah, exactly. And